Let me start by introducing those of us that are sitting on this side of the room. To my immediate left is the Consul General of the South African High Commission, His Excellency Ambassador Monaise. To him. And next to him is Emmanuel Ojakoro, who is the Financial Controller of the Warri Industrial Business Park. And thank you. And on my far left is Executive Secretary, Mrs. Tony Camino. Starting on my far right, I have the Project Coordinator for the Warri Industrial Park, Mr. Mozumo Okosudide. Thank you very much. And on my immediate right there, on my right, sitting next to me, is Helen Emore, who is the Project Director of the Warri Industrial Business Park. I'll be hearing a bit more about her later on. Even from the Chamber's point of view, we have, certainly in our experience at the Chamber, a lot of South African companies that are saying, what can we do? We hear that Nigeria is a happening place. We hear and understand that investment is now moving away from South Africa towards Nigeria, and we want to participate in it. And it's such opportunities of having industrial parks like this, you can go and say, look, you know what? If you really want to do something in Nigeria, take your industrial or production capacity and capability and bring it to locations like this, where you can do a lot of business, generate a lot of revenue from the huge population that we have. So the story just goes on and on and on. And I'm not so much trying to take the wind out of the sails of the presenter, but I think we all need to appreciate and understand the kind of background in which the presentation this morning is going to be made. Our sponsor for this morning, who will be talking on opportunities in an emerging Nigeria, a focus on infrastructure development. That's the topic. But I'd like to ask Emmanuel, who's the Financial Controller, to please introduce her.
Thank you so very much, sir. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. All other protocols observed, please. This is going to be a breakfast meeting, and so we're not meant to spend so much time. Meant to give a brief profile on Helen Emore, who is making the presentation this morning. Helen Emore has over 20 years postgraduate experience in business development. She's an experienced strategy and marketing consultant with a demonstrated track record of driving growth and improving operations of businesses and non-governmental organizations.
This is an issue that I'm very passionate about because incidentally, I just came back from Dubai yesterday, and the Sheikh, the ruler of Dubai, he gave a press conference a week ago, and he said Dubai has only accomplished 10% of their vision. I mean, if anybody has ever been to Dubai, and you see all of the things that are there, the tallest building, the biggest mall, they want to be the biggest EST. They should be Dubai or something like that, because they just want to be the first. And they asked him, and he said, why do you want to be number one in everything? He said, look, we can only be number one. Nobody remembers number two. And I said to myself, that's true. Which is the second tallest building in the world? We can't remember. But we all know that Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world right now. Where is the biggest mall in the world? It's Dubai Mall. Okay, which is the second biggest mall in the world? That may be tricky. But everybody remembers number one. And I had the opportunity of driving from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. And I was saying to myself, when we were going from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, it was a fantastic 10-lane highway in a desert. And people still go there. They had this international defense exhibition that had over 200 exhibitors. The hall is like, the exhibition hall is like 10 times the size of Eco Expo. And I'm saying to myself, if the desert can be like this, how about us? We have everything. We have water, we have greenery, we have food, we have petroleum. We need to shift our attention away from NEPA is not working. or I'm buying diesel, I'm buying, let's begin to talk about the real issues. And what are the real issues for us as people? It is for us to begin to see our country as a place where there are extensive opportunities. And for us, we are focusing on infrastructure. My paper is going to focus on infrastructure because that's a major driver of development. That's how all the cities, the two cities I've talked about, Singapore and Dubai, that's how they change their fortune. I mean, even infrastructure development for London 2012 had tremendous impact on improving the GDP of the UK. So how can we as a nation begin to see that? What are the forecasts for Nigeria? What's the GDP outlook? Very positive. It's projected, World Bank says 6.6, IMF says 6, that's up to 6.74, MBS says 7.67, and Edward Kingston, whom I got this from, projects 6.9%. So, on the average, we can say our economy is expected to grow by at least 6.5% this year. So what does that mean for us as individuals? Okay, how does it affect us in our small world? The outlook is positive, just like Mr. Phillips said. Definitely 2013 will be better than 2012. Election is over, everybody's settling down. We all want the dividends of democracy. There are also activities in the key sectors, oil and gas. We expect the PIB law to be passed this year, somehow. And then, of course, there's also investment in agriculture. We know that for manufacturing to thrive, there's need to provide for the entire value chain, right from the raw materials to logistics, to distribution, to power, infrastructure, road infrastructure, name it. Even with all our indices and our poverty estimates, we still have up to 50 million potential people to be banked. So who's working on them? That's another industry to be explored. Mobile money, mobile business, e-commerce, ICT, it's amazing. And I always ask myself that why do we always complain in Nigeria and just do nothing? You know, we need to move forward, okay? And therefore, when you hear that there's an infrastructure project going on, Lagos State government is building the Badagry to CMS rail. I'm sure that there must be at least, between Badagry and CMS, there will be at least 10 terminals. So the train will make at least 10 stops. Let's assume each stop provides direct employment for 300 people because we have concession shops. They are going to have ticketing, the train will have cleaners, the station will have cleaners, you have engineers, you have all sorts of things. Even to build the terminal, there's extensive construction work that will go on there. So even though they're giving the contract to CCEC or Julius Berger or whoever, whatever business you are in, can you sit down and you think for a moment to say, this infrastructure project that is going on, how can I leverage on it? There is demand. Are we able to supply? There are opportunities. Are we able to tap it? So whenever there's an infrastructure project, know that there's a project design stage, which oftentimes we all don't get to know about. We just hear about it in the news. There's this happening. Maybe you hear about Warri Industrial Park here. You know there's a monorail plan here. There are opportunities there. For those who understand, once they get a whiff of it, they follow the blood. You know, the real sharks, they know. Once there's a drop of blood, they follow it, that there are opportunities in project design, especially for those who are in construction, architecture, engineering, consultancy, business plan, marketing, name it. You need to design a logo, you need to advertise, you need PR, you need to train people. There will be people who work there. Then you get to the planning stage, which is where things now begin to take shape. You design the project, you have an idea of what will happen, and then you begin to plan how to execute. You are drawing your lines on the drawing table. There's also opportunities there. There will be marketing, there will be design, there will be construction. The people who work on the project will need homes. Some have to relocate to new places. There are opportunities there. So say you hear there's something happening in Delta State, and you say to yourself that Delta, no, go and find out what's happening there. Who is in Delta State? What are they doing? What's Warri Industrial Park about? What's the size of the project? What are they going to need? How many bank accounts do you think they will be operating? Even during construction phase, as soon as it's planned and they want to start construction, economic activities begin to follow. So we need to change our thinking.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank all of you for this session this morning. I know it's time for breakfast. I'd like to thank His Excellency for being here, and also Emmanuel and Osimo, thank you so much. Mrs. Cameron, for the work coming to do from the chamber, and most especially for Helen for the presentation she's given. And for the breakfast we're about to have now, we also like to thank the Warri Industrial Park.
However, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of planning, the planning is phased, and therefore you see this investment being released in tranches over about a 5-year period. The government of Delta State is committed to developing the startup infrastructure, i.e. the roads and the initial building, and this is estimated to cost the state about 3 to 5 billion naira. See that there are opportunities for real estate, for infrastructure, for construction, for manufacturing in particular. But if we must create jobs, if you've listened to federal, state government, everybody's talking about job creation, job creation. If you must create jobs, there must be a platform for which jobs should be created. And it's manufacturing, it's in retail, it's in agriculture, it's in logistics, it's in transportation. This project presents that kind of opportunity for investment. Warri Industrial Park should take off within the next 18 to 24 months, which is when we complete development of the startup area. The startup area in our brochure is about 8 kilometers of road, and then of course the iconic building starting from the commercial area. So effectively, in terms of completion of phase 1A, we should expect that to be up in 24 months. And for those who know about construction and urban planning and town planning, they will tell you that these things take a while to mature. Now, just like I also said earlier in the presentation, when you are at project design stage and planning stage, you don't see a lot of things visibly, but there's a lot of work going on. You begin to see work happening when construction has started, and then everybody rushes there and say, oh, I want to offer this service. No, now, when we were planning, we've already engaged different service providers to provide that service. So we've done detailed engineering. In fact, we are doing detailed engineering. We can't be advertising that we are doing detailed engineering. People will say, so what? Show me the thing when you have started it. But we need to sensitize the market to the project, which is why we've done the kind of engagements that we've been doing in the past 24 months.